Welcome to SpandexCast, bitches, where we occasionally talk about Power Rangers and Super Sentai. I am your host for today, your Lord and Savior Barack Obama, aka Red Mystic Ranger. Joining us today, we have the, as usual, Raging Phoenix.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Simon could not be with us today, so we send our blessings to him. But joining us today is an awesome dude by the name of GoseiManta.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yay. Okay. That was fun. Moving on. We got a little bit of news for you.
Hey, we always start with asking our guest
Oh,
how
you're
they got
right.
into the fandom and all.
So tell us, Go Say Manta, how did you become one with the Power Rangers fandom?
I suppose it started back with, of course, Mighty Morphin like everybody else. I stumbled upon it in the first season syndication. I was too young to watch it the first time through on the first season. Um, I remember a haunted house episode with a goat chasing the Power Rangers through the house. And that's really my first memory of Power Rangers in general. And I've kind of stuck through it between a love and hate kind of relationship, mostly hate these days.
We noticed.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Uh,
Wow.
Good fun. So I think the episode you were talking about was is that the one where Zed and Rita get married?
Might be. I vaguely remember it.
That's what it seems like to me because then they get stranded in that
I vaguely
opera
remember
house.
being like 8 or something and being a bit anxious because I wasn't sure the videotape recorder was doing it correctly.
Wow,
Because it always aired while we were having dinner.
that's a throwback recording stuff on videotapes.
Sure is. But then you both are too young to actually have seen the first season when it came out.
Yeah,
That's
I
about
was
right.
I
I
feel
was like
old.
one when they first started.
Well, to be fair, in the Netherlands it was like a year later when it
Yeah,
finally came here. But still.
good fun, good fun. Um,
Anyway, on to the news then.
yeah, did you get any Power Rangers news? Because I don't think there was much happening out there.
No, from what I read around, not really. I guess that's because we've gone into a hiatus now, so
Yeah,
yeah, no
not
real
much
news
going on.
for a while.
We do got a little bit of Kyoryuger. It's not as much news as it is rumors, but uh, where I get these rumors from, they haven't been wrong so far. So I mean, we'll see how they go. Starting with the what are they? The Judenchi. Um, Supposedly the Plesiosaur one will have three modes. It'll have a regular dinosaur mode, a ship mode where it's kind of like a rocket ship, and then
Ooh.
its own Megazord. Um,
So that's the one for Kyoryu Gold, right?
no,
Or
that's
is that the eighth
the
one or
pur-
something?
the purple. Yeah, number 8, the purple one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
So
uh,
what? Do we only get one auxiliary Zord then, or Mecha,
well,
whatever?
no, we're gonna get all the 10 of them, the first 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing is that the Ankilo clearly is an auxiliary one.
Oh well, it says here it can combine with Gabutira and Bunpaki, which is number
Yeah, but it isn't
8.
just an arm or something.
Yeah, well, no, this one makes its own
Yeah,
Megazord.
exactly. So that's
Yeah.
kind of new because, to be honest, when I first saw all those arms and basically they've already had like 5 arms now. I was like, well, you get all these like things that turn into arms and maybe legs later or something, or wings or whatever.
Well, as I was saying, this one can supposedly can combine with Gabutira and Bunpaki, which is that's actually number 8. This one, the Plesiosaur, is number 9,
Oh, okay.
but that can combine with those to create Bakuretsu Kyoryujin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Nothing will ever replace Macho, though. That's just the name is too cool.
I'm still thinking though that oh man, that hammer and the gun would be awesome.
Oh
I
yeah.
like Western. Western's my favorite mainly because of the epic cowboy pose it does. And then
Yeah.
yeehaw.
Yeah, it's great. But
Also, supposedly there's another Voltosaur coming called Toba Spino. Um, people assumed that
is
it
that
was
that
going to
one
be,
just for the movie?
yeah, it was
Okay.
going to be number 24, but supposedly it's going to be number 0. And it's a basically a blue and yellow repaint of Gabutira when it combines with Ankydon and Bunpaki to form Spino Dio.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Sounds like something that's going to have a saw.
Yeah. To be honest, those recallers are always quite boring.
Yeah, I never understood the point of them. It's like you can, because obviously these are all just glorified 30-minute toy commercials. And I mean,
But that
what's,
that's what it's for, though. I mean, it's a very cheap way to make a new one.
yeah, I don't know, that just seems lazy to me.
Yeah.
But then we have one more rumor about a Kyoryu Red power up. Uh, it's called Kyoryu Carnival, I believe. Yeah, Kyoryu Red Carnival.
Jesus.
And he'll get a new gun shaped after Gabatira called the Gabatira Do Carnival, which is a pun for Dokkan and Carnival, whatever Dokkan means.
Well, at
And
least
then
we know that now.
yeah, and then to power up he combines that weapon with his Gabu revolver.
Hmm.
I can only imagine what this thing will look like if it's
Yeah,
called
the thing
Carnival.
is, though, I mean, I'm sure it will be cool because it's a power up and all. It just doesn't sound very amazing.
Exactly.
You expect that weird carnival organ music to start playing out of him as he turns into a giant metal octopus that shoots things.
Ugh,
The
I
other
know.
rangers turn, the other Kyryugers turn into clowns and start prancing around or something.
Oh
The show
god.
is that ridiculous, I guess. You could probably get away with it.
I'm getting a flashback to No Clowning Around from MMPR.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of Power Ranger news, do you guys talk about the pictures they get posted up on Instagram?
Yeah, we brought that up. We brought that up a couple times.
Have you
Uh,
had a chance to discuss the ones where they're filming? Seem to have all of the well, I guess the Super Mega Force suits lined up behind in front of a white screen, and there's a bunch of brick buildings, and they're in a battle pose. Have you had a chance to talk about that one?
I didn't even see
no,
that one.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I posted about it. I didn't post it, but it was one of the ones that got posted back there in the thread on Ranger Vision for discussion and rumors about Super Mega Force or Mega Force in general.
Oh right.
I don't know. Who
No.
posted? Was it Sierra Anna again?
Yeah, she seems to be quite a spoiler. I'm kind of waiting for Saban to just fire her and be like,
I
"You can't keep your
know.
mouth shut."
That's what I'm thinking. Like, how is she getting away with this?
But the thing is, though, I mean, who is very interested in it? I mean, I think that most of their sales go to kids, and they are not checking her site. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, she's got a
It's,
Twitter and she posts the Twitter thing.
Yeah,
So,
but how many kids will have her Twitter?
well, you got to remember Saban's April Fool's joke is they were going to put out a cell phone. So I couldn't believe
which like
that.
that was a lame attempt considering last year's with the Morphew.
Yeah,
That was actually more believable.
It looked
I
cooler,
felt
at least.
because the
Well, the phone, I don't know. The
it
phone really, when I read the megapixels, I was like, no.
13 megapixel
I
camera.
don't know anything about phones, but I was like, it sounds high, so it's probably not true.
Yeah, that's kind of professional grade photography level of megapixels. We're getting there, granted, but it's going to be a long shot. And if Saban has that technology, I'd rather them focus on going to moon first. You know, next year's April Fool's joke, you can win a chance to go to the moon. Axe will take you into space. We'll take you to the moon.
That was actually a thing over here. Someone bought a because Virgin is making these space travels stuff where you can buy a ticket to space.
Yep.
Huh.
They sold one in like a local media store.
Really?
Well, it's like a national brand, but still, it's like why would you buy that at a media store?
Hmm.
You
You know,
Because
you
that's
buy your
Virgin
DVDs
Airlines.
there. I mean, DVD, maybe a big TV, and space.
Yeah. We have a deal right now. Buy a ticket to space, get a 42-inch flat screen, and a naked picture of Anna Nicole.
Why would you want that?
she's dead.
Why would you buy space tickets at Best Buy or wherever this is?
It's
It's
called
not
It's
like
the
you're going to go to
future,
the
it's
airport.
though.
called
That's
Media
the
Market.
future.
No, the multi-pass is the future. You got to remember that.
Dude, no. Vacations to the moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meet Rita in person.
The
The
weather's
future.
great today. It's quite vacuumous. Try not to breathe.
Have a chat with Zed.
Yeah. Visit the Lunar Palace. It's been vacant for almost 20 years.
Oh man. You know, this that kind of reminds me. I forgot to. No one posted this on the board, but some people, a college student in New Zealand, said that they were filming his. They were filming there at his college, and he spotted. What was it? Insarn. He
Who?
spotted someone in
Yeah.
that suit there.
Yeah.
So I guess
Huh.
that all but confirms we're getting those villains as well.
Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Vrak, I guess his name is, looks an awful lot like Wars Gill from um, Gokaiger.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that mentioned
they've
here.
stated before that he's gonna have a brother. So I
Oh,
mean,
that's
that's all but.
well. I noticed that Vrak. They didn't explain it, but I don't think they explained it. But he's wearing Creepox's armor, sort of looks like his armor. And I was curious if they're going to follow that up because throughout Ghost we see Vrak's counterpart absorb the powers of other bad guys and take on their likeness.
Hmm.
In his final form, he's got these big wings and stuff like that. And then I see Wars Gill, and I was like, "Are you serious? Is this what's going to happen? He's just going to turn into
Yeah,
because we
but
already
that assumes that they actually follow some kind of continuity with how their villains look. I mean, if you just look at the family of Zed and Rita, it's like they don't look anything alike.
and then Thrax was like the worst attempt at trying to tie the two of those together.
Well, to be fair, he did look a little bit like Zed.
Yeah, I did. They took the shovel thing for Zed's face, and then that was about it.
Yeah,
He
but
actually looked like
you could
relate
actually
to them.
at least see the resemblance. It wasn't like Rita and Rito and Master Vile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you really get down to it, where do you think that Master Vile got the genetic material to have kids?
Well, there must be a Lady Vile.
Could be, or he could just be screwing around in that cave still. Quite
See,
literally.
I think Rito and Rita have different moms because I mean,
No shit.
Re- Re-
Gee, you
Well,
have skin, and I don't have skin. There's something different here, sis.
one is humanoid, one is not.
Yeah.
Although in Cocky Ranger wasn't Master Vile and Rito weren't they actually father and son?
I believe so. Master Vile
But maybe
kind of...
Rita is just from the Milkman or something.
Yeah.
I think he
Where
went
did you
down to
get
Earth, fucking
Flash?
bitch,
I don't
and
remember
Rita
Flash. Yeah.
came.
That would
Now that's
be
a
great.
fanfic all on its own.
Oh man,
Someone get on that.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, let's move on to the episode discussion, I guess.
Hey, I'm the host.
Yeah, but you're
I
not
lied.
doing it.
Hey guys, let's move on to episode discussion.
What a great idea, Matt.
I thank
All
you.
right.
I thought of it myself.
What a brilliant
So
mind.
this week's Megaforce episode was Prince Takes Night. What did you all think of
I'll go last.
it?
Well, it wasn't bad. I don't think. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a bit bland. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah,
I liked
no.
it, but I expected a bit more. I didn't get to find out too much about the Robo Knight. I would have thought that it would focus more on him compared to what
Hmm.
it did.
I can agree with that. I mean, I think for a filler episode, it wasn't
It
all
wasn't
that
really.
bad.
It felt like it shouldn't be a filler episode though. I mean, after the last episode was like, well, that was sort of the teaser, and now we get the true introduction of Robo Knight, especially since after that we get like a break in episodes. But instead, they indeed went for something much like a filler. Although it did tie up some things of the last episode, but
And I mean, I think they got something planned for Robo Knight because,
well, yeah, obviously. I mean,
and
they've got
I mean,
stuff
I
planned
know
for
I
all
know
of them.
some people are like, we don't know that much about him, but I mean, do they want everything revealed to them in the first episode that he's in?
I love how you say some people. Some people who may or may not be participating in this podcast, who may or may not have the screen name initials of GM, or who may or may not have a problem with Megaforce in its entirety.
That wasn't completely directed at you. There are
I just
other
took
only,
people.
close to
only
that,
about
right?
99.9%.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I just watched it and I totally forgot everything that happened.
Yeah, it's a bit for me the
Oh, I know.
same.
I loved the part where I like the civilian fight scene that they had, and where Gia kind of takes the reins as the team leader.
Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed that a lot.
I think she is developing. I mean, at first it was like this. I mean, from where they started with Jake and Gia being like Jake constantly hunting her. It feels like they at least didn't go for the we'll tie them up at episode 60 or whatever it is, the last one,
Right.
and keep it completely steady until then. It actually does develop a little bit, so that's
Hmm.
nice.
Well, I don't know. This episode kind of bothered me, like all of them do. But
That's not
my
new.
big problem is whoever they got to play to do the voice acting for Psycho Tick cannot say
Don't
Tick.
you mean Psycho Dick?
That's what I was about to say. Is that when he introduced himself, it was Psycho Dick, and I was like, "Hold on!" I rewound it and played it again, and sure enough, it's Psycho Dick. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
Saban, are you getting a twisted sense of humor here?
Mhm.
And then we hear him say Tick Attack, but for some reason he can't say T, so it becomes Dick Attack.
But
I'm
later on, I'm not sure whether that was that attack or a little bit later on, but it did sound more like Tick once.
It got
Yeah,
better.
what?
It got better as the episode progressed.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sure they had to
But
re-record.
by that time, everyone was like, Dick, 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 Dick,
yeah.
Dick.
It's all I'm going to hear now, even if you say it right. And then
I will agree. There was something that bothered me with the episode, and that was when Troy was telling the others about his dreams, and it's like, yeah, Robo Knight's there, and I think he's fighting on our side, which is cool. But are you gonna fucking leave out the 100 other Rangers that are there fighting with you? Because that seems like a pretty big detail to me.
I
I'm
really
happy.
don't like Troy. I mean, I hear all kinds of good news about him, and it's like, I don't see it. Are you guys being sarcastic or what?
yeah. Hey guys, just before we rush off to battle, I want to let you know I'm having these dreams.
Yeah.
Robo Knights in them. What's really important though is that we're in a valley and there's lots of gravel. That's the important part of this dream. Not that there's every Power Ranger that's ever donned the suit before involved in an intergalactic battle with a space empire bearing down on our atmosphere. Nope. The gravel. Pay attention to the dirt.
Well, the thing is that, if you want to try and avoid that whole battle, it's kind of a good idea to just try and get everyone to avoid dirt and gravel and valleys.
Yeah,
No.
if we're engaged in a battle and it leads us toward a valley, just unmorph and go home.
Yep.
Fight's over, man. Fight's over.
We don't want to go there.
Yeah, we'll go back to the command center and play with these funny little robot-y things.
What command center? You
We'll play
got
fetch with Tenso.
there's a command center? I rarely see
Yeah, the
that.
well-ventilated warehouse that Gosei's head is mounted
Don't
into
you
and it's
feel
meant
that,
for.
by the way, that those vents look like the vents on Suzette's castle?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what they went for when they did it.
so did Zordon and Zed have a baby and then Gosei became that?
Probably.
Yeah,
Actually,
design
did you guys
aesthetics.
look at that review from Linkara of Mystic Force?
Oh,
I
it's up?
saw it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
out, but it's only on his blog, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, that guy with the glasses.com,
No,
probably.
no, no, not on there. It's on his personal blog or something.
Oh,
It's a
there's
bit
a
weird.
link on the ring.
Either way, he did mention there that when that announcer says go with Mister Ranger, you know, whenever they morph or do whatever, it
yeah.
sounds
That's
like
all.
Gosei.
That's always sounded like Zordon to me. But I mean,
Well, apparently it
you're
now
right.
sounds like
It
Gosei.
could be. That would make more sense it being Gosei because supposedly he's been watching the Earth, and I have a theory as to why. Yes, he's been watching over Earth, but hasn't done shit about it. Is because he's always
Please tell me,
there's
please.
always
Do
been
you think that
a team
Disney
to
kind of
appear.
planned this?
Well, that and like there's always been someone else there to make a Ranger team.
Or the fact that he's mounted to a wall and can't do anything because he's
Yeah.
mounted to a wall.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. I mean, they never explained what the fuck happened to him. I mean, with Zordon, it was I don't know if ever it was explained about Zordon out inside in the show, but I know that he was trapped in a time warp, and it was just Zordon tube mostly.
Yeah,
Because
well,
basically he wasn't actually when it started out, he wasn't actually in that tube. He was just you can see him through the tube, right?
yeah, they do say that in one of the early episodes of the first season that he and Rita got into a fight and she trapped him in a time warp between dimensions.
Yeah,
And the only way he can communicate is through a tube that creates a dimensional rift. And that's why throughout the Mighty Morphin and series that features Zordon, he keeps phasing in and out at certain times,
yeah,
creating some type of crisis of leadership for the Rangers.
yeah,
But
and then they explode his tube, and suddenly he is in there, and
right, well, that's the movie. And then they're like,
no,
oh,
no, no.
crap, I
I mean
forgot.
when in space.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Well, and
Shut
Kind
then
of changed somewhere there, but I also because I haven't seen the seasons Zeo Turbo in space that much. I kind of remember that something changed though, like maybe they got Zordon into that tube somehow. I don't know.
What?
for, yeah, go ahead.
Well, they changed they went from the command center to the power chamber, and
Yeah,
when Zordon appears in the new power chamber, his head just kind of floats down from the top of the tube.
yeah,
Is that
We
what you
did
meant?
see,
yeah.
we did
Maybe it
see
was something like
footage.
that. I'm not sure. I guess that I'm just not sure whether there was actually a story showing that why he was suddenly actually in the tube rather than it being a TV for Zordon.
Yeah.
Well,
And
did we see Zordon's body when Andros destroyed the
no, it
tube?
was just the Z wave.
Right. I think his energy was trapped. He managed to the energy, his essence, he managed to put in the tube itself
Mm-hmm.
rather than be caught between dimensions. Because, as I said, over and over and over again, we kept seeing that he would get interrupted, his signal would be weakened or whatever. So
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly. But so at the start of the show, it kind of seemed like it was Zordon was like it was really just a TV that allowed for the communication, and
yeah,
there was no single essence of Zordon in that tube, apart from maybe some essence that was used for the communication itself or whatever. But he was actually somewhere else and couldn't be hurt through the tube itself.
correct.
And then
Except
suddenly,
only in the
somewhere
movie.
between there and in space, it changed.
Yeah, we did see footage though way back in the beginning of forget which season it was from, but there was this blue-haired Asian guy running
Yeah.
down a hill in the woods, and that was supposed to be Zordon on
Yeah, that was
Eltar.
weird. They just used the mentor kind of dude from Judanger, but he didn't fit at all. In that
I-
sense, the
we're
guy who they used in the movie was actually better, apart from the fact that he was actually in the tube.
Yeah, that was completely confusing.
And
But
he
you know
looked like
what?
a
When you
tree from the neck down.
going back to what you said about him leaving, you were right. He did. I forget at the very beginning of Turbo, he like teleports out of his tube, going back to Eltar.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but at
there's
that point, apparently
more.
he has become part of the tube.
Yeah.
So I guess that at least we can go down to, halfway turbo that we're for sure he's there. But, even with, for instance, the moment the White Ranger comes in, he apparently can't, separate, be on two tubes at the same time. So even then, apparently, the tube is where he's in, or something, maybe.
Who knows? It's all a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Yeah, pretty much, quite literally, in fact, because it's a time warp and a rip in dimensions. So doesn't get much wibbly wobbly, timey wimey than that. Just give him some 3D glasses.
Maybe Zordon's a Time Lord.
Maybe the Doctor saved him.
Okay.
Maybe
I
that
don't
was
know.
the Z wave. It was just time explosion. He's not
Yeah,
dead.
could be Zordon's a TARDIS. That's what because he can generate all these things like powers and Zords and things like that. And we have the theory that the TARDIS is essentially limited in its ability to manipulate its own reality.
Yeah. Wow, we could
But
be onto something.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it might be eventually where Saban's going with it. That eventually they have a crossover, and Doctor Who is actually an Eltaran, or however you want to put it. Those who escaped the Time War went to Eltar, and then Zordon ended up locking horns with Rita, who's
A
I don't
descendant
know.
of the what are those vacuum cleaners again?
The
Dalek?
Daleks?
Yeah.
She
Oh,
can't
I
be a
for,
Dalek. She's not a. She's
She's a
not a
Dalek.
complex mutant.
Screw you. Power Rangers never make sense. In, genes and
Welcome
stuff.
to Doctor Who.
yeah.
Nothing makes any goddamn sense.
Yeah, but at least they're somewhat, consistent.
I have to say that Lord Zed would be an interesting villain if ramped up a little more seriously.
Yeah.
It would be a pretty good villain for Doctor Who.
Well,
He
to be
fits
fair,
the
he was an
motif.
interesting villain in Power Rangers, even in the first half of the second season.
Yeah.
And
I
after
would
that,
love to see that.
the Mothers of America rioted, and
I'd love to see the TARDIS travel back to 1993 and
smack the Mothers of
land on the
America.
Moon Palace and destroy one of Rita and Zed's monsters. That would be brilliant.
I'd really rather have him smack the Mothers of America.
1 million moms.
1 million smacks.
Shut up and give us the good Zed.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were on about episodes.
All right. The thing I had when we get to Mr. Barley, I keep forgetting how to say his name. It's Burley.
Yeah.
Burley, because he's a skinny nerd guy, so we'll give him that name. But he's trying to make the perfect sandwich that has never been mentioned, never been alluded to. We've never seen the equipment for making a perfect sandwich. But for some reason, we're in the midst of that for a totally unnecessary scene and set of lines that now confuses the story. I want to know what this, perfect sandwich was going to become. But
Well,
now
I think that was done mainly just to reiterate the power, the tick attack, taking all the power and going out, and what people are doing at that time.
yeah,
And he's happened to be making his perfect sandwich, which you're right, we will never know
never.
what that perfect sandwich is.
Never, ever. And I would like to see him lament that in the next episode. He's all angry and pissed off. He comes in, the Rangers are there. Just do whatever the fuck you want. Everything's
Pop him
Please,
better if they
motherfuckers,
introduced
I
that in
didn't
the
get my
first episode.
sandwich.
And then,
Yeah.
at the end of the last episode of Super Megaforce, he's still trying to get its sandwich gun. And, everything is happy and there's rainbows and everything, and he's just like, I still haven't got my sandwich.
You go be happy that the world is saved. I still have science to do. The science of sandwich construction.
I just imagine him during the very last battle of the Rangers and shit's going down the city. He's just like, I just want a sandwich, and he's
Sandwich
trying to
all
make it, and everything's crumbling around him.
Yeah, I end up with. I think in Gokaiger they summon the old Megazord, so we end up with Megazord feet breaking through the ceiling behind him. But he's totally unnoticing of it. He's so focused on the sandwich and the proper placement of the toothpick with the olive. You just see the Mighty Morphin Megazord foot come down into his classroom behind him and then step away. What was that?
He
Never mind.
he could be this season's, that could be this season's search for, of Bulk and Skull trying to find out who the fuck Power Rangers are.
Yeah, or he could be their dad.
Yes.
Oh,
No, we've seen
Joe.
their dad though
Oh, that's
in the
right.
food fight episodes.
Mr. Burley kind of reminds me of what's his face,
Yeah, from
Professor
space.
Phenomenus, whatever his name is.
Phenomenus, that's
He
right.
actually reminds me
Yeah.
of Professor. Oh no, what is his name? Kaplan, Headmaster Kaplan or
A
whatever.
little bit. He's like a combination of both of them.
He just needs a toupee.
He might already have one.
And
whenever
preferably, a piece of pie under it.
and when he was making toast, did anybody else get a throwback to Bridge and his buttery toast?
Yeah. Especially when he got hit in the face with the toaster that was not launching the toast before. It's like the toaster's like, I'm powered off. Leave me alone, fucker. I don't
Anyway,
know.
there was also Kyoryuja.
Yeah.
Stealing my lines again?
Yeah, you're not doing anything.
Well, we're still talking about the episode.
Yeah.
Okay
Dude.
then,
Jeez.
go on.
Well, we had when we have Robo Knight trapped in the cage where the tick is leeching energy off of him. He repeats what Troy says. Like we humans never abandon our friends, and Robo Knight repeats never abandon friends. And all I could think of was the rest of that exchange with Rock and Troy. Robo Knight is repeating the last two or the last part of their important sentences over and over again until both Troy and Vrock tell him to shut up. And he kept doing it again when Gia and Jake showed up to save him. And it was as though I expected him to have a malfunction and pass out in the cage because he just couldn't handle the English language.
Well,
And I don't-
What I did think of, with the whole power drainage, I was like, there's one who actually managed to do that, with Zed, he tried to get the power away from Green Ranger back then. And that actually worked in the end.
Yeah. We can't have successful villain schemes anymore. That justifies evil, I guess.
I think he was doing that, like restating everything just to like compute it through his little robot mind that has been fried from being turned off for too long.
Maybe we still don't know if he was encased in ice or rock or what his problem is with rock formations that are naturally forming. We have no idea, but he's protector of the environment even though he seems to destroy it
Yeah.
more effectively than the monsters he's fighting.
But that's the case anyway with pretty much all heroes. I mean, if they weren't there in your city, the evil guys wouldn't attack that city either.
Yeah. Well, there's no big
So get the
threat
fuck
here.
out.
Yeah.
My girlfriend actually asked me the most obvious question one time. She's like, "Okay, how come they always just attack the one city?" And I was like, "Well, that's just because that's where the Power Rangers are."
Hey, well, SPD, they had to go to Japan once.
This is true.
Yeah. Once.
Huh. Once.
Because New Tech City was the best place to blow up. Until Japan.
But that's just once.
We see Troy and the Rangers leave the command center, or the very well-ventilated warehouse that Gosei lives in. And for some reason, they don't split up, but Troy's the only one that shows up on the beach. We don't know why that is. And furthermore, when they show it on the screen where they get a rough idea of where he's located, he's in North Africa.
Is he?
That's I think the continent shape that I saw.
I couldn't
Geography,
tell, honestly.
So,
I didn't pay attention, else I could tell you because, well,
I
did
could
pay
be wrong.
attention with geography, but most people haven't, so it doesn't really matter.
I could be wrong, and I'd hope that anyone listening to this who knows better would post back in the forum that this is posted in, the thread, and correct me, because I would like to have something make sense in this episode. I would really appreciate that. We have, and then you guys mentioned that Gia looked really cool as the leader, and then she sends the other Rangers into the civilian battle and stands there, and stands there,
Hey,
and
that's
stands
called
there.
delegation.
Well, still, it's like
It's
you
plan
go
B.
die first, and then when you've weakened them with your corpses, I'll go fight.
Yeah, that's actually good tactics.
I don't think so. Not for a children's television show, if that's what we're
I-
aiming.
Today
I don't know.
I played a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons, and well, not exactly Dungeons and Dragons, but that's what people know. And it was with Space Marines, and we just send our guardsmen, to distract and get themselves killed downstairs, so we would have less opposition upstairs. It's how it works.
I suppose, but it just seems strange. And she sounded like a total Valley girl when she showed up.
Doesn't she always?
Well,
I'm
it
not
sounded
sure what a Valley girl is, but
It's like, hey, like totally for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I expected
so
her to
yes.
come out with your energy thing is like totally done with. You greedy green thing. Oh my god, greed is so.
See, that would be Emma because she is the one who seems more Valley Girl. Like,
Well,
pink
she
is my
had
favorite
to in
color.
the first episode because it
But
was.
what's this like Ranger deal?
Yeah.
But she had to in like the first episode because she had to be like Kimberly. But after that, it
Emma
kind
like
of
totally
changed.
messes up my hair.
That was a
I
great
love
one.
Emma. God
I saw it
bless.
coming a mile away too.
Well, and we have in that battle, in the middle of it, Jake stops on the staircase and starts staring at Gia's ass.
That is
And-
fair though. I mean, that's.
I don't.
Wouldn't you?
I know because she has the physiology of a 12-year-old, so I would be less distracted by that and probably more interested in what the loogies. And by the way, have the loogies made noises before? Because this time I noticed it, and they sounded like someone was choking a parakeet near a microphone.
Yeah, they make these little like you said, chirping noise like.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've got a hold of a parakeet and they're shaking it back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm like, choke, damn it, choke!
Yeah, they did them. I know for sure in the first episode because. Yeah.
Well, they have to get
Um,
their special effects noises somewhere, so choking parakeets seems legit.
Who knows?
I guess. And then Noah knows how to fight, and
That's
We
not
don't-
true. Gia kicks some butt.
no, but we see Noah actually kick and fight and
He
remain
didn't say
on.
no one. He said Noah.
Oh, I thought you said no one. Okay.
Noah, yes.
See,
the,
I know these things.
the racially sensitive Billy character. So we have that, but we don't have any backstory as to what's happening. Have he and Troy gone out for Troy to contribute to Troy's war on plastic bottles, or do they have any training session or anything? And then we see that Jake, without his axe, is
Was
inept.
it ever established though that Noah couldn't fight?
Yeah, in the first episode, he was as inept as Billy, more inept. He was kind of rolling out of the way of the loogie attacks and whatnot. I mean, I can understand, we've been being Power Rangers for a little while, and I got a little bit of a hang on punching people in the face, but he was like doing kicks and stuff like
And what about
that.
that episode where he, was trying to swing that axe of Jake?
Well,
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know
I
how
think-
that taught
Maybe
him.
he learned it there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he just started believing in himself and just kind of goes for it.
Well, if that's the case, I can use chopsticks, so I'm a kung fu master now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Move over, Bruce Lee.
GoseiManta's here to fuck shit up.
Well, and then the big thing that really poked me in the eye was the monster
Heyo.
teleported out of the battle like 4 minutes before the next scene, as time flow would suggest. And then the Rangers show up on the battlefield right behind Psycho Dick. And did he stop for coffee? Did he read a book? Did he teleportation thing get him mixed up? Did he land in Guadalajara or something?
Maybe this teleportation thing isn't just in space.
I
It's
don't
also
know.
in time.
It could be. So that might be why they don't teleport that often because it skips 10 minutes of time. I don't know.
Hmm.
But and then still we don't know how the Rangers found out where they were. Is the battlefield right next to the beach? Was everybody looking down on this? It kind of sucks for Vrock to pick such an open and an easy to find place to hide a guy.
Well,
But
to be fair, I mean, I'm sure that, Gosei inherited some kind of viewing globe.
Well, they did. They showed. Didn't they?
Rangers observe
On one
the
of the
viewing
screens,
globe.
they showed
And
them
then,
fighting.
you just see whatever is going wrong.
yeah, but we didn't see that it happening. They established that Robo Knight had been kidnapped, and then they went out to find him. And then on the little viewing panel thing, I think it was the pink one, Tensu shows them they have a rough estimate of where he's located. And as I said, it looked like North Africa. But then again, we have the Rangers fighting in their home city in the civilian battle, and then Psycho Dick leaves, and they show up on the battlefield later, just like Troy. With I don't know why we don't. We took a guess that you'd go to the beach.
Well, Psycho Dick went back to the cage where Robo Knight was.
Right, that's what I was referring to. We have no reason why the Rangers showed up there at all. There's no explanation of how they tracked that down. Troy didn't even open up his Gosei Taki Matui Facey thing and say, hey guys, by the way, I'm at the da-da-da-da-da city beach. Everybody's staring because there's a guy in a cage and a bug man holding him hostage. This was a bad idea, Vrock. You could have gone to a casino and blended in better. But that was just the really high end thing that ticked me off the most, is that they couldn't be bothered for a sentence that said, "Thank God Tensu radioed to me that you're on this mysterious beach that no one uses on sunny days."
It could be explained because they showed the Rangers like the location on the screen, and I mean they could have just like remembered that and then randomly showed up there.
Tensu said in that scene, we don't have an approximate location, but here's a roundabout of where he could be. I mean, I could have said, like, we've been searching the whole afternoon and finally found it, or, just anything that would have. I just feel like they run right into the end of the episode as fast as they can.
Maybe they have a track. Maybe they can track Troy's morpher.
Yeah, I suppose, but it still doesn't explain how Troy got there.
Well, but with your you mentioning that Super Sandwich scene that you found like coming out of nowhere and having no place. I guess that you kind of think that they choose the wrong things to stand still.
Highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I prefer some kind of continuation of what's happening, like a finished thought. But it seems that Megaforce has a trouble with getting to the end of a sentence when they're discussing how episodes should go before they write things down and put a period. So it just seems to be, as I posted before, it seems like they write the episodes a couple hours before they're filmed. And nobody bothers to go back and read over it again. Like we watched in Robo Knight's appearance where he's talking to the snake truck that we still don't know why that mutant can turn into a truck. But can the other ones do it? Yeah, exactly. It's Japanese footage. We should just have a little thing down at the bottom, a disclaimer. This was not filmed by Saban. This is a Japanese footage. We're not going to bother to explain it because even we don't understand it. So
It's Japan.
right, but we have the scene with Robo Knight turning into the dump truck Lion Zord, whatever, and blasting through some rocks. And he says, "You think rocks can stop me?" And the monster didn't put the rocks there. And then the very next battle scene, we have the monster throwing. I don't know, but we don't even get that. But in the next scene, we see the snake throwing rocks at Robo Knight, like twirling around and heaving rocks at him. And it's like, that would be the place for that line. Why did you put it back here where nature had a natural rock slide?
Or maybe it's actually ingenious because that monster thought, well, he clearly hates rocks, so let's throw it at them.
Right, that happened after the line of "You think rocks can stop me?" Though he
Yeah, but
blasted.
it's like well, there was no real reason to blast those rocks, so clearly he hates rocks.
Yeah, I guess. So we'll just throw rocks at him. Maybe rocks are his weakness. He said he was
Yes.
encased in them, but then when we get Gosei's explanation, he was frozen in ice. Again, it seems like they don't write it and read
Maybe
it.
it
They
was
just
ice
write it.
rocks.
It
I
could have
mean, when
been.
when you order whiskey with ice, it's whiskey on the rocks, right?
Sure, it could. Maybe he was suspended in frozen alcohol. That would explain his memory
Yeah.
loss.
I don't know. I honestly just think that this is kind of a filler season to get us not. I don't know, pumped up is the right word, but to get us into Super Mega Force, where what we're all really waiting for is all the old Rangers and
Well,
changing into them, and yeah,
yeah, but this is their anniversary season though. I mean, I really liked the first episode, and I was like, well, these fillers aren't great, but maybe once we get to some bigger ones, like the introduction of the new Ranger and everything, it will be better. But it's kind of disappointed me what they've done with Robo Knight so far. So I'm not sure.
Well, they're obviously going to kill him.
Well, yeah, they have to.
you think?
Yeah, yeah, because he doesn't. He's not. He's not. They won't turn him into Gokai Silver. Gokai Silver is
Oh
far
no,
too animated for that.
no, no, no.
So, and he doesn't. He doesn't show up. I mean, they could refilm it, or he could do like Kiryu Cyan did and go on a world's journey. But I suppose, but he doesn't show up in the footage. But he's at the Great Battle.
Maybe you
Right.
could go to a peace conference though.
Yeah, I suppose.
In a,
A global climate change conference because
Yes.
he's an environmental superhero. He could take his girlfriend Emma with him. No, did anybody
No,
notice?
she's mine.
Did anybody notice in the episode that he premiered in? Nobody went back and plugged that drain at the factory. So
Well,
that's still toxins.
You're right.
No, they just took a sample and we never heard about it again. I mean, in the first scene of the next episode with Prince Takes Night, we could have had Noah in there testing it like, oh my gosh, it's full of kryptonite. This would kill Superman if he was real.
if he was real.
Maybe they did it off screen after their big battle. They contacted the city of Harwood and were like, "Hey, this is fucking shit up. Let's get it closed."
Yeah, but it would also be kind of a dick move because you would, remove the base of that new group of enemies. I mean, that's
Right.
too soon. That's just too soon. You can't do that. It's like pulling a Megazord on, a small monster.
That would be a good episode, though. They just send this lowly dung beetle monster in there, and then they bring out the big 20 Megazord, 80-foot tall thing, and it's like, do you really want to go, bro? Come at me, bro. Come
That
at
would be
me.
a cool episode. Just establishing shot of the scenery or whatever, and then you see a monster in there, and then just a giant foot comes down. End of the episode.
Yeah. The theme music starts playing. Everybody's high-fiving each other and stuff like that. Yeah!
Power Rangers.
We'll call this a mega win.
That is a very bad catchphrase.
This is terrible. That's the snake axe was the other thing that bothered me. I was like, snakes don't use axes.
They
Sorry.
can with their tail.
No, I highly
Yes.
doubt that. Well, it's not a one-handed weapon. It's a hatchet.
But it's like you've got those snakes that can strangle people. They're very strong. They can wield a two-handed thing.
Well, if you get down to it, I guess, like dragons use swords, and phoenixes have guns.
Sharks use bow guns.
Obviously. Look out, he's got a gun.
It's a freaking shark with a freaking laser beam attached to his freaking head.
Yeah.
Oh god. If you got a bowgun, that should shoot arrows, right? Arrows don't move that fast in water.
The fish would
Does
see it coming.
Okay.
That's one of those sporting sharks that gives you the chance to run.
But we've been talking for like 45 minutes now. We've still not touched on Kyoryuja.
No, I was just thinking about that.
Okay.
I don't want to hijack your the hostiness again, but
No, I was gonna ask, are we anything else we want to add to the
No,
Megaforce episode?
I'm hoping that it gets better. I want it to get better, but it's so darn stubborn.
I hope it will. I hope for your sake. I really hope it does. But I know you're not thrilled about them using pirates as
power up.
power-ups and all that.
If it was a different suit, kind of like how we saw the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers suits on the wall when we got rid of when we ended the Zeo Crystal Collection saga,
Yeah.
it would make sense. We could, Gosei's like, your powers are lost forever. But thankfully, I dug to the bottom of a box of Captain Crunch and found these superpowers. So,
We'll just have to wait and see.
Right.
Yeah, I think that at
to.
least they use the current, Ghostager suits fairly generically. I mean, a bit like the Mighty Morphin suits. At some point, you just could hardly even see that it was a Tyrannosaur, the Red Ranger, because he had nothing to do with a Tyrannosaur anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, obviously it was still one, but you didn't even notice it was a Tyrannosaur suit. So, because they use it so generically, maybe it works. We'll see.
Yep. Alrighty then, I guess. Moving on to Kyoryuger episode...
Whatever the fuck.
8? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
The one
8.
where they talk to dead people.
What?
What?
What did you just say?
Isn't that the episode we're talking about where they talk to the dead people?
Oh yeah. Well, it was. I'm just waiting for the moment they actually, start to do stuff with Kyoto Gold. Because we did get to see Terra Gudon or whatever his name is. Right?
Which is freaking badass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he seems
they-
evil at the moment, much like
Yeah.
Ankilo or Lo Don, whatever.
Ankydon.
Ankidon.
I don't know. I thought it was a nice episode
Yeah, it was alright, but yeah.
for being.
I'm not a big fan of fillers.
I'm not either, but I mean, it wasn't too bad for like a focus episode on Nobuharu.
No, I guess.
I mean, it was kind of sad to see his sister talking to her dead husband.
Yeah. Do you watch Sentai? Gosei?
Yeah,
Manta?
I unfortunately have not seen number 8 yet. I still keep rewatching Kyoryu Cyan's premiere because I like that character. It's, a fat
You
guy
do?
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Fat Power Ranger. That
Come on,
sounds
I
like a
mean-
TV show.
Yeah, like the Big Bang Theory. It's just the fat guy Power Ranger and his nerd friends. He goes off
No,
and saves
actually,
the world.
fat
and stuff.
fat Dad Ranger.
Yeah,
I'm
That,
excited.
that
with
would
Fat
work
Ranger.
because it sounds a
It's
bit
about
like
time.
fat my big fat gypsy wedding or something.
my big fat Power Ranger team. My big fat Ranger battle.
My fat Dad Ranger. It sounds perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice to see a Fat Ranger though. Like, gives me hope.
Well, Bulk was a ranger,
Sort of.
and in Go Ranger, which was the first Sentai, there was the second Key Ranger, which was the yellow one. He was very fat, and he was
Yes.
killed by a can opener monster.
It wasn't the
Irony!
It was brilliant.
Irony, thy name is can opener.
wasn't one of the Jetman also like I know he wasn't super fat, but like he was chubby.
Yeah. Also
Wasn't
the
it
yellow one.
Yellow seems to be the color of fat in Japan.
What's what's up with that?
They don't
Yellow and
like yellow
cyan.
at all because in Kyoryuger they're like, no, yellow is too feminine. We can't have that.
Yeah, because
Which
these
still
guys
kind
are
of
really
irks me
strong.
out.
We'll have a fat guy, but even he won't be yellow. Yellow's just too girlish.
I am kind of perplexed because we have the blue Kyryuger. He's kind of dirty, not like perverted, but he's kind of dirty in the presentation way. He's unshaved, his hair's messy, he's
Yeah.
greasy, his hands are dirty, and then we end up with the fat guy who's Kiryu Cyan, and they're both of the same blue family, derivative of blue, or blue and derivative of blue, and it's kind of I wonder if other shades of blue are going to feature vices. Like there's going to be an alcoholic Navy Ranger, or we're
Why
going to
don't
have
we call it the 50 Shades of Blue?
the 50 Shades of Blue is what it's supposed to be. I did like the morphing sequence where he's shouting Spirit Ranger fire, and we see him as a fat guy in spandex,
And then
and
he gets fatter.
well then the suit remembers, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be thin because this is Japan. Like we can't
Yeah, but
find
he,
this.
I love that because that thump, first he gets a bit fat and then bit more fat and then he just it seems like he's jelly.
Yeah, and then
Right.
he's in love with the Pink Ranger, and it's like,
Well,
well,
Lady.
there wasn't anyone else to fall in love with because
well,
they didn't want another girl on the team.
yeah.
But
Well, that's
going back to what you said about him being dirty, like, I only watched the Raw of 8, but Rage, wasn't the blue one, wasn't he like a business guy? And then his sister's husband was what he does now?
he looks like a mechanic.
Maybe I don't remember.
Because
I
he
was
was
actually going
showing,
to watch it again,
was
but
showing
then
us.
the subtitled version was already gone again.
He was shown in a suit,
Yeah.
and his dead brother-in-law, was wearing what he wears now, which is like a mechanic's suit thing.
See, and that's one of the things that bothers me is that here in America we don't get depth to characters anymore. Tommy was an orphan.
The
No.
thing is, that's kind of, what you do notice with the fillers is that, with Kyoryuger, if you get a filler, you still get, some story that's worth it. And with Power Rangers, often you see that, you get a filler and then it's just, you don't learn much.
It's all
Right.
about the action.
Yeah, it's just like, I suddenly have invented this thing I have, which is, either suddenly a hobby or a problem I have or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And by the end of the episode, it's solved and you never hear about it again.
Right, right. I mean, Eric with his complications
Yeah.
as a human being, fundamentally flawed and angry with the world. That was wonderful. And then we had Taylor, who wanted desperately to be taken seriously as a female air pilot, that it drove her to the point where she became very angry with the world as well. And the two of them found each other. But we don't see that anymore. We kind of see the cut and paste
Yeah.
Troy Burrows characters that, we really don't remember why they're on screen anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, in the end, if you really look at it carefully, in Kyoryuger, obviously you won't see much. There's quite a few plot points that you probably won't see again anymore, but it at least feels like it has some impact, and it doesn't feel like it's just pulled at someone's ass. Like suddenly I have this issue, and it's gone again.
Yeah, I mean, it was Jan in Geki Ranger. His dad was Bruce E, right? And I forget the bad guy's name in that one, but they killed Bruce
Wasn't it
E.
just Rio?
Oh, Rio was his dad. No, Rio was a student of Master Mao. Mao. Yeah, of the Catman. Anyway,
Yeah.
I
But
forget.
Rio was the bad guy, right? Or
Yeah.
No, was Rio
Yeah,
the
he
guy
was-
who killed
yeah, it
Bruce
was
E?
Rio and Melee. Mary.
Yeah, but there were monsters that killed Bruce E, who was Jan's dad, and Jan wanted revenge very so badly that he nearly killed himself trying to compete with Ryu's powers.
Didn't his father end up being that white guy that they like beat in episode 45?
Yeah, that's
The
been
white
so
haired
long.
guy.
I
And
wouldn't
then it
know.
turned out that that dragon guy was the main villain. But
Yeah,
that's kind of I do like that though when it's not so clear cut.
right. And then we come with Jungle Fury, where it's like everything's pretty much clear cut here.
Hmm.
We have a hippie that runs a pizza shop. Kids work at the pizza shop. There's a
Uh-huh.
nerd girl at the pizza
But it
shop. Some
wasn't
weird
bad though.
guy.
I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either.
I don't know. I don't know. I get the trouble. People, I've heard the discussion that people are getting frustrated with people like me comparing the Sentai to the Power Ranger thing, and I always try to think of it in a car like a car comparison. You look at a Lincoln Town Car versus a Ford Crown Victoria. They're the same car, same engine, same drivetrain, but the
Yeah.
Lincoln has a leather interior and air ride suspension, and the Crown Victoria is used to haul people who puke in cars away to jail. So we have Power Rangers that's the very tore down essence of Sentai, and then
Yeah.
you have the luxury car of Super Sentai. And I just don't understand why they can't create the middle ground there, where you have developed characters, but it's still playful.
Yeah, the
They,
thing
they
is though,
tried
I
that
mean,
with Samurai.
the thing is that what I find so stupid is that they have tried making seasons that's completely unrelated to the season they're adapting, which is kind of cool. You get a new story, and at least it's worth something to watch it because you don't just see it all over again from what you've seen from the Sentai. But on
Right.
the other hand, they have also tried to, just copy the Sentai. And if you look at that, like Wild Force, they just did a crappy job.
Oh, yeah.
They
See, they
just
could
tried
do
to
it's
translate it, but they got crappy people, crappy actors. They've got this Princess Shayla or whatever her name was. She was horrible.
And somehow learned how to fight.
even though she got captured all the fucking time.
Yeah. She got captured more
But
often than Zordon lost reception.
but I find that if they do try to adapt the Sentai, it's either really good or really bad. Case in point, Time Force being fucking awesome,
Yeah, but
and
they were more
Wild
loose
Force.
in that one. I mean, Wild Force, they actually tried to copy it sometimes scene for scene.
Well, I mean, and Samurai too. Look at Samurai.
Yeah. That made me very angry.
But with Sentai or Samurai, they didn't try to copy it exact. I mean, Wild Force, I feel, is the one they tried to stay closest of all of them, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you do have to you have to switch the theme of it. Like RPM and Go On are completely different.
Night to
Like
day.
adapted
Well,
from the
it would
same.
help if you don't cast five nerds and have them shout out "Never give up" all the time.
Ugh.
I mean, even in
It's for y'all,
Japanese, it sounded a little bit campy, but they could pull it off because they were teaching English. But then they go to English and they still do it in English, so it just sounds geeky. Maybe they should have done it in Spanish or something.
Yeah.
I mean that helps. I mean that's what they do with Dora over here, Dora the Explorer. Here in the Netherlands, they use it to teach English.
Well, we have. What I liked about RPM is that it started off really serious. I mean, the whole human race, as we knew it, was pretty much wiped out. Everything that we feared we never got in the Terminator movies was finally put into a Power Rangers series. This is the time when the machines rose up. We didn't get that in the Terminator movies, and I thought that was a nice touch, and I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it definitely struck true to me. And then for some reason they switched directors halfway through the series or the producer or whatever, and it just turned into the regular old Power Rangers campy
Yeah. That's what
situation.
always happens. I mean, when they start out with something good, I guess it hurts the sales and stuff because the kids are like, "Whoa, I don't want to see this, mommy." But or mommy is more like, "Well, you're not going to see this because I don't think this is for 7-year-olds."
Yeah, that's where you're getting it from, because your 7-year-old will sit through Transformers where Optimus Prime becomes a bad guy and then gets his arm lobbed off. or Megatron rips his own
Yeah,
arm
but that's
off.
too hard for parents to understand what the fuck it's on about.
I guess, maybe we should have more talking robots and Power Rangers that can kill each other and no one will feel bad. Oh, hey, look, Robo Knight. So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know. I just feel that that's a major issue. I mean, but that is even in Japan though, because, for instance, I didn't finish it yet, but I've watched some Power Rangers, Kamen Rider Hibiki, which didn't start out as a Kamen Rider series, I should say, but basically that started out really good, and I really liked it. It was like an art style almost. The first episode seemed like the music and the 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 action flowed together so well because it's really a season about music. And then apparently around episode 30 they switched directors and producers and everything because they took over the series. I think the original writer died or something, the Ishimori or whatever, and
That's depressing.
and they changed producers, and basically they took it over as a Kamen Rider series instead of it being something separate, because they were actually not having a Kamen Rider series that year. They took it over and they changed it around, and apparently that wasn't for the best. At least changed it. I mean, if you liked it better or worse after that, it's just bad when a season is taken over and changed halfway through, because you just should stick out with it with the style it has, I think.
Yeah, and at least when we're talking about Samurai, at least in the Sentai, they explained what happened to Kaoru. We just see Lauren give the morpher to Jaden, and then that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see if Megaforce, Super Megaforce, because we do have an episode in. Well, no, because that involves sword fighting, and as we all know, Noah's a nerd, which means he can't do anything physical except when he does. So I don't know. I mean, but I'd like to see what happened to Lauren. Did she jump off a bridge? Did she go back into hiding for no reason? Did she become one of the monsters that lives in the Sanzu River because she's depressed about being useless? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't watch Samurai too much because, quite
Not
frankly, I
many
hated
people
the
did.
first few episodes, and I was like, or actually the first one and a half episodes, and then I was like, well, fuck this shit.
Yep,
I'll get
that's
back in 2 years.
yeah,
It got good when Lauren came. I loved the actress who played Lauren.
yeah. And then they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You have acting talent. You need to leave.
Like
You're actually portraying a character. Get
that
out."
scene where she's uh helping Jaden recover after the battle and she starts crying. Like, I felt the emotion.
Yeah, I was like,
Loved
"Whoa,
that
for
scene.
reals."
I loved that scene.
Why are
But
you
by that
crying?
time,
It's just Power Rangers.
at least
Because my
you are
brother's
all the
in
two people
danger
who,
and
appreciated it.
samurais and symbols. Yay.
Did they
I love
actually,
I love
because
how
I
we're
didn't see
still trying
much
to talk
of it,
about Super Sentai, but we're doing
did they
Power
ever
Rangers.
get into, it being Japanese symbols and stuff? Did they actually do anything with that?
Nah, they called it kanji and never explained what kanji was. Symbol power. That's right.
Yeah.
Symbol power is what they called it.
So they weren't like, look, this is language from another country.
No, people in America don't know there are other countries. Yeah,
Centuries
no.
ago in Japan, Nylok monsters attacked evil. Blah blah blah.
Somehow they decided to give up on Japan and come to America because we're in America now, I guess. And no one on this team except for Mia is any type of Asian. And even then, she looks more Eastern Islander, so she's really not related to anyone involved with the original battle. But who knows?
Jaden
Find
has
out
a
on this
fucking
episode.
Japanese last name.
Yeah, he does. It's like Jaden Shiba. Are you serious? Did your dad? And his dad isn't even remotely Asian. It's like, okay, did the family who originally had these powers just hand them over to the next white guy that showed up in Japan on tour?
Is the bloodline so diluted with
Well,
white?
to be fair, I mean, I don't know how many generations they did, but in Sentai it was at least like he was the 35th or something.
Right, but
So it could be that, over 35 generations you've moved.
We will leave the sacred land and begin making babies with white people. Why? Because it'll throw Master Xandred off to no end. It'll
Well,
give
but
him
you know,
headaches.
let's say you like in the 1800s you move to America. I mean, the chances are that you don't always keep mating with Asians.
Oh no, I'm not insisting that they had a pure bloodline, but I would have made a lot more sense if the lead character looked Asian.
Yeah, that would have worked, but you know, I guess that the average kid that watches it can't identify with an Asian. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But either way, I mean, Samurai was a flop and everyone recognizes it for that, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
but luckily we got 2 seasons of it.
it will go down in infamy.
it'll join Turbo in the seasons that no one talks about.
I don't,
I'm really
Turbo,
glad you didn't include Mystic Force on that one.
Turbo wasn't that bad though either. I mean, to be honest, I think that all seasons are watchable in the end.
Yeah, it depends on how high you are, though.
Very high.
Yeah.
No, but I think I mean you've got a few very crappy episodes, but I think that most seasons are you can watch it and it's not too horrible. It's not something I would turn off necessarily.
Right, I mean, you got your Sentai that is kind of impossible to sit through. So,
I didn't sit through Ghost Sager. That's one I really turned off after
same here. I
episode 30. I lasted to episode 30, but
Well, we can say this: Troy and Atla or Altala, whatever his name is, the Red Ranger from Gosager, share in common a severe lack of personality.
Arata.
Yeah,
Mm.
Alata. They have share a severe lack of personality. That's definitely
I
their thing.
remember that name because I felt it was such a shit on top of the character from Kabuto, where you've got Kagami Arata, who is basically for a long time bit of the geek and the guy who didn't make it. He was
Oh,
supposed to be the main writer, basically according to the story, and then he didn't become it.
oh, I see.
But yeah, it was like, wow, that's my favorite season of that show, and one of the characters from that, and you stole his name, and you're awful.
Yeah.
Go away. Stop existing.
Hmm.
Troy's gonna surprise us all and actually come out with a personality.
Yeah,
Very last
Super Mega
episode.
Force.
Very last episode.
Yeah. Well, you see him and Gosei sitting in the warehouse there, and Gosei's like, "You have to develop a personality, Troy." And this lightning bolt jumps out of Gosei's forehead, and all of a sudden, Troy stands up dressed as Captain Marvelous.
But
The only way to defeat these space aliens is with swag.
didn't you say that it was originally a model, Matt?
Yeah, he's a model turned actor.
But that's quite a big risk for like the lead ranger to
Yeah.
take a model. Like, we don't know if he can act, but he applied and he's a model, so let's take him
He's
for the
so
biggest guy.
pretty. We gotta have him. He's so pretty. He makes Jaden look manly.
Hmm?
It's like that
We'll see
picture I
where it
posted
goes.
with him wearing shorts. Ugh.
Who knows?
Yeah, this is our tribute to Jason. Imagine, I forget his name. Whoever,
I
it's
did like
Austin
Jason.
St. John. You see Austin St. John, who's now like the poster boy for Twinkies. Looking at that, like, really, this is who you imagine that would be a good tribute to me, a girl, really? Thanks.
He
I'm
can't
gonna
be the
enjoy
poster boy to
this.
Twinkies because they're not making them anymore.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sure they sell that to someone though.
Well, the Chinese plastic company's supposed to pick it up. The same one that bought Hummer, I believe. So maybe you'll get a free box of Twinkies that are made out of plastic with your plastic Hummer.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't it be the other way around?
Oh my
Get
god.
a free Hummer with your box of Twinkies.
Well, are there any final thoughts on Megaforce Kyoryuger?
Nope. Oh.
Oh,
No, actually, you can do that. That'll be later. Hold on. We'll see that. You'll you'll mention that later anyway. So
There. Next episode.
yeah, about the next episode that we need an episode.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yes.
Hey, folks. What's up? So, Megaforce is on
Hiatus.
hiatus, yes, and we need something to fill in that gap. So, we will be creating a thread where you can suggest episodes in for us to watch, and we will review those instead of the weekly Megaforce episode. So,
Or you can just
put your thinking caps on, and
that's for Ranger Vision, where we've become a partner guy
we
thingy.
totally should have mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah, but we are that's the thing now. And but on the other side, you can still contact us as well. So you can just leave it there on a PM or in the thread as well when you have a cool suggestion for an episode.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And else we'll just handpick some crappy one.
Yeah.
And you can
Anyway,
of course become a guest.
yes, please. Let us know. We're
Yeah,
open.
we need better ones than this guy.
I know. I smell funny even over the internet.
He's a Megaforce hater.
Damn it!
The only one
Yeah.
in the world.
Yes, folks. If you're on Ranger Vision, you need to check out the weekly episode discussions and check out GoseiManta's good old rants.
Yep.
The good old rants. Maybe I should make a logo for that. Ta-da! The good old rants.
You should have your own thread.
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Everyone.
And everybody can come in there and tell me that I'm a mean, hateful person.
Question.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I'm going to
anyway,
call
and
this
fol-
a mega win.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr and all that junk, and
all of the social.
like,
yes.
subscribe, favorite, because that helps apparently.
Yes, it does. Anyway, I am Red Mystic Ranger, aka your Lord and Savior of Barack Obama. Thank you, Raging Phoenix.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us, GoseiManta. It was a blast.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did too.
Good. Hopefully, come back sometime again. Join us again.
Whenever you want me to ruin your hopes and dreams about Megaforce, I'm more than happy to come by and crush your dreams and hopes and all that other stuff.
Well, I think they can do that themselves quite well, the people of Megaforce.
Yeah, well, no.
Perfect. Perfection. Thanks for joining us, guys, on SpandexCast, where we occasionally talk about Power Rangers and Super Sentai. Have a great week.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.